Okay, so I'm just cleaning up the brows right now. I already did my eyebrows off camera, so if you guys want a separate video for that, then I will definitely make one for you guys. So right now I'm just cleaning up my brows to prep them for the eye look. Ooh, fleeky. Yes. Come through, eyebrows. Come through. Okay, clearly feeling myself. Cool. Snapchat me that pussy. Okay, so now I'm going to be using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. And I'm just using this as a base for my eyeshadow. Just so the eyeshadow colors could come out very bright and as vibrant as possible. So I'm just using my finger to blend that out, get an even coverage across the lid. And I'm going to go in with this Milani palette. I'm going to link the product names and everything in the description box. So I'm just using the tan color in my crease with a crease brush just as a transition shade for the rest of my shadows. Now I'm going to go in with this BH palette, and I'm going to use that cool, is it a cool gray or would I just call it a gray? White gray? Snow gray? Snow gray. I'm going to use snow gray on my lid. And then I'm going to use this shimmery baby pink eyeshadow just to make it brighter. And I'm really packing it on just so I can get as much pigment as possible. Also, by the way, I'm using tape under my eyes. I definitely don't use tape under my eyes anymore. It's really just extra, so yeah. Now I'm going to go in with this blending brush from BH, and I'm going to use this Carli Bybel palette. Oh my god, it is life. So I'm using this mauve shade just to go in and deepen the crease a bit. And I'm using swiping motions across the lid, but really concentrated on the outer corner. The whole time I'm going to concentrate a lot of color at the outer corner of my crease and eyelid. So I'm using the Plum shade now to deepen that crease even more. So just using the darker colors at the outer corner is just going to give you a more cat eye, sexy kind of look. And I'm just sweeping that inside the crease as well. Itch. Now going back into the palette, I'm going to be using the black charcoal shade they have, and I'm just going to use a angular crease brush just to deepen the most outer corner. Do you see how it adds so much depth to the eyes? It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to blend that out with the rest of the shades. The key to this is blending. Blending would just make everything look better, honestly. So I'm using this Beauty Supply Store palette. I'm just using a black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to go in and deepen that even more. Yes, Hunty, we got shades for days. We gonna get this gradient popping off, okay? So going back into that Carli Bybel palette, I'm going to be using Plum. Okay, people got no respect. I'm trying to record. But anyway, I'm going to use that Plum shade, and I'm just going to deepen that and just reapply it just to get that pigment back in. You don't want it to get lost in the sauce, you know? So just come back and get it together. Going back in, I'm going to use the mauve shade. Basically just to transition everything into a uniform gradient. Okay, and I'm going to be using the lighter of the rose tone shades, and I'm using that right under the brow bone, just as a nice little transition. From my brow bone highlight, which I'm going to apply right now, is kind of like a yolky white shade, I guess. And I'm just going to go into my brow bone with that just to highlight it. And I'm just patting it in and then just sweeping it down slightly just so it blends into the other colors. Even though I will go back and blend it in. So now I'm going to go back in the Milani palette and I'm going to use that orange. So I'm going to use that orange for the sole purpose of just like warming up the eyeshadow just a bit. So I'm using just the smallest amount. And I'm just going back in with that same iridescent shade just to brighten it up again. You know, gets lost in the sauce. It's okay. You just bring it back. Gets the flavors. Rip that thing off. Reveal the snatch. Go ahead, girl. So now you're going to line the lid. You don't have to. You could just clean it up and apply mascara and lashes. But me, I need to get that liner. So you're just gonna apply that. I could make a separate video on how to really snatch your liner so you could come out here literally slaying people. That's how sharp I'm gonna have your eyeliner. And this was a great liner day that I'm thinking about it. Don't you just love a good liner? Okay, now that you're ready to cut somebody, you're going to go ahead and apply your mascara and all that. But first, I'm just going to clean up the eyeliner with a concealer just to make it as sharp and clean as possible. It just looks way better like that, you know? So now I'm just lining my waterline with black eyeliner. And I'm also going to use this nude liner from NYX. And I'm just going to line the inner corners. So I use black for the outer corners, nude for the inner corners. I think it just brightens up my eyes and it gives it a cat eye shape. So for my primer, I'm using this Milani primer to prime my face for my foundation. It's so smooth. I don't know if all primers are like that, but this one feels exceptionally smooth for some reason. And I'm going in with this LA Pro Concealer. And this is the orange corrector. So I'm just going to use this to conceal and correct my dark spots and any discoloration I have. So as you can see, I'm basically putting like this orange corrector everywhere. But I promise you, I'm not ODing. At the time, it was something I was really, really doing heavily. But I really don't do this step anymore. I kind of just skip it. But I think it helps 100%. So now I'm just blending it out. Please blend this as uniform as possible. You don't want it to look all spotchy and stuff. It's not cute. So I'm going to go in with my foundation now. I use the L'Oreal Lumi foundation in the color C6. It's Soft Sable, I believe. That's the name of the shade. Again, I'll link everything in the description box. So I really do like this foundation. I could do a whole review or I could do a foundation tutorial. Because this is my primary foundation right now. I was using a Black Radiance foundation and an L foundation. I used a lot of foundations, but so far this is the best one and it's drugstore. So get at me though. So now I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer and this is in fawn. This is like, if you're a chocolate girl, this is honestly the best concealer for you. I feel It's just everything. And it's so inexpensive. Like, how much I paid? $2.99 for it? And the most you would pay is $5. And if you're paying $5 for it, that's still like, girl, you playing. You best to go find it for $2.99. So now what I'm going to do is just use a damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to blend it out. So again, I put that under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, and in the center of my forehead, just to, brighten it up a little bit. But this is basically to conceal, but it's conceal, brighten, highlight. You know what I'm talking about. Or not. But girl, I had to really put some Blistex, or what was I using? Vaseline on my lips because it was crusty. You don't have to tell me about myself. I had to get right real quick. I know. So now I'm just blending everything out, and I'm going to use this yellow corrector. And this is from LA Girl, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that slightly more above the fawn concealer that I used. And I use that primarily under the eyes and down the bridge of my nose and on the tip of my nose, just to give me a cute little button nose. And you can already see like how angular this makes your face. And for some reason, I think it makes your eyeshadow pop so much more too, but I could be delusional. Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to just blur out the edges of my concealer. You want like a seamless kind of gradient. Not gonna hold you. My blending job for my face in this video was not A1. It was I, but it wasn't A1. But we had those days. So now I'm going to use, yes, I know, this beat up concealer palette. But girl, I'm gonna get as much product as I can, and I'm just using the deepest shade in there. Apply that to the depths of my cheekbones, my temples, down the sides of my nose. Really snatch that nose, girl. Go ahead, do that. And then also on my jawline. You're gonna see how pretty it looks. So I'm using this bronzer stick. I use it as a highlighter. And I believe this is LA Girl as well. So a lot of beauty supply store, drugstore products. Basically everything is beauty supply store, drugstore products. But this is a really good, I use it for a highlight. So it's a really good highlight. It's very velvety, blendable, and very nice. So you see that subtle, dewy glow it gives. Very, very nice. So I'm going to use an angular contour brush and just blend out my contour. Okay, so I went in with Deep Cocoa from LA Girl Concealer, and I'm going to deepen up my contour and blend that in. And really, girl, blend, 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 blend. So I'm going to use this yellow corrector from e.l.f. And I use it as a dupe for a banana powder. I have moved on though. I put this in the past. Only because I've been going to Target everywhere and I cannot find it, and I don't feel like making a trip to Elf, and I don't feel like ordering, so had to make it a throwback. So I'm just going over the places that I concealed and the places that I highlighted, and it's going to give a yellowish tint so it won't leave you all ashy. It's gonna complement to your skin tone. So now I'm just blending it out. I don't leave it. I blend out my under eyes last because I want my under eyes to bake as long as possible, but I'm also an impatient person, so I don't leave my under eyes to bake for too long. And I'm going to go in with this Carli Bybel palette, and I'm using the first two highlighter shades, and I'm going to just highlight my cheekbones with that with a fan brush, and I'm using a dome eyeshadow brush to highlight my nose, so the bridge and the tip, and I'm using this pink diamond highlighter from e.l.f. Yes, I know, it's busted, I need to get my life. And I'm just going to go in and highlight even more. It's a highlight overload. I'm using all types of highlight. Bam! Gonna go in with the bronzer. And I'm going to use this Ruby Kisses bronzer, and that's just to complement the highlight. Get a nice little gradient going on. I'm all about the gradient, girl. So now I'm going to use this e.l.f. blush palette, and I'm using the deep palette, and I'm using the red to contour. So I kind of use blush to contour. I think it just complements everything. It just makes it look really nice. So I even sweep that across my forehead. It complements my skin tone, so I could kind of get away with it. So, who gonna shoot me? So now I'm going to use this actual contour shade, and I'm using a angular contour brush or blush, bleh, blush, whatever. And I'm just going to go in and deepen my contour, and now I'm just blending everything out and snatching my nose. And now I'm using this NYX liquid lipstick, the Lip Lingerie line. And this is in Teddy, I believe. And I'm just loving the lingerie line. Like, it's literally, the shades are just everything. It's like very nice nudes that complement various skin tones. So I'm going to kind of get an ombre lip here by using this NYX Soft Buttercream. I believe I used London or Abu Dabi, one of them. But, ooh, there's the look. You feeling it? You getting it? Looks for days. So you would just go ahead and set it, and then you're done.